What is going on, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. You know, I really want to work on the intro that I normally have for my channel. I say, what is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. But like, no one can respond to me because I'm like up in my place, you know. Salutations and greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about the American Express Trifecta versus the Chase Trifecta. So there is going to be a lot of fire in this video, so I suggest that you guys stick around and smash that like button because it really does help out this channel. But let's get straight into the video. So to start out with this video, I actually have 10 different categories that I created that are going to help us gauge whether or not which trifecta rules the other one in terms of that category. At the end of the video, we're going to tally up whichever trifecta has the most amount of points, and then from that, we're going to gauge exactly which trifecta is better. So here's a brief overview of those categories. We're going to talk about the annual fees, we're going to talk about the annual credits, we're going to talk about the earning categories, we're going to talk about the transfer partners, we're going to talk about the welcome bonuses, the ease of use, how much the points are worth, the prestige and the story brand behind the cards, the customer support, and even the luxury status that you can get from one of these cards. So before we talk about the annual fees, I do have to mention that the Chase Trifecta has different versions. I'm actually going to be alternating the versions with the most popular ones. Usually it's going to be the Chase Freedom, the Freedom Unlimited, and then the Chase Sapphire Reserve. Or my modified version is the Chase Freedom, the Chase Inc. Business Preferred, and then the Chase Sapphire Reserve. So really it depends on which version you go with, but with the research I've done, regardless of how I interchange those cards, I still get the same result. So starting out with number one, we're going to talk about the annual fees. And the reason why annual fees are the number one category that I'm choosing to talk about is because generally people are looking at how much a card will cost them before they actually apply for that card. It's usually the number one question I get from my friends. Hey, Billy, apply for the Chase Trifecta. Hey, Billy, apply for the American Express Gold Card. And the first response I get is, well, how much does it cost? What is the annual fee? So I guess a lot of people do take this into consideration. So off the bat, you guys, American Express actually loses in this category. Regardless of whatever combination you go with, even if I went with the Chase Inc. Business Preferred and I had the Chase Sapphire Reserve, those are really the two main cards that are going to give you annual fees. I could change out the Chase Inc. Business Preferred and do the regular Chase Sapphire Preferred. Even alternating the different combinations, the annual fee will not surpass more than $645. If I'm going with a combination like the Chase Freedom and the Chase Freedom Unlimited and then the Chase Sapphire Reserve, the only annual fee I have to pay is for the Reserve, which now has that new annual fee of $550. Rest in peace. Very, very sad. Very sad. Very sad. Now, when we're talking about the American Express Trifecta, that is actually not the case. So immediately off the bat, if you have the gold and platinum card, you have a total annual fee of $800. So as you guys can see, $645 versus $800. That is a pretty significant difference to me. $200+ over time does really add up a lot. And if we talk about the power of compounding interest, you guys will know how much that will actually be worth. American Express has the lead with this one. So with all those things in mind, Chase actually gets 1 point in this category for now. Moving on, let's talk about the travel credit. So with the American Express Trifecta, you actually get a lot of travel credits and different credits that you can use for various situations, unlike the Chase card. Now, Chase's only card that really gives you guys any type of credit is going to be the Chase Sapphire Reserve, which gives you that $300 travel credit. Now, the $300 travel credit with the Chase Sapphire Reserve is pretty good. Any travel related purchases will actually automatically code itself as that category, and they will deduct that automatically off the statement. There are many people out here who actually end up using the full credit automatically within the first month of actually having the card. So that $300 deduction, you don't have to try. You don't have to activate anything. You don't have to go out your way to buy any type of gift cards. It just does it automatically as long as you buy things that are travel related. Now, in addition to that, we have that $60, such a good credit. Oh, the best credit in the world. We have that DoorDash credit, so I guess that improves it. And Chase wants to say that Lyft Pink is worth $20 a month. I'm not even gonna value that as a credit just because not many people are gonna be using Lyft, and not many people who do use that should be putting this into a calculation of the credits that they get of this trifecta. So it is not in Brian Jung's. I'm only gonna give the Chase Trifecta a $360 credit. Now, when we're talking about the American Express Trifecta of travel credits, we get a lot. We almost get 3 times more value than we do with Chase's. And here are those credits. So we get a $300 airline fee incidental credit. We get a $200 Uber credit. We get a $200 hotel credit. We get a $120 dining credit. We get a $100 global entry TSA pre-check credit. And we get a $100 Saks Fifth Avenue credit. That all adds up to be about $1,020. Now, it doesn't take a rocket science or a mathematician to figure out $1,020 is worth way more than the $360 you get with Chase. So automatically, American Express, they get another win in this category. So we are tied at the moment. Up next, we're actually going to talk about the earning categories that each of these trifectas have. When we're talking about the American Express cards, we actually get 4x back on dining, 4x back on supermarkets, 5x on flights and hotels booked on the American Express travel portal, and then we get 2x back on everything else. With Chase, you get 5x depending on the rotating category that you have with the Chase Freedom card. You get 1.5x back on everything else with the Chase Freedom Unlimited card, and then if you have the Chase Sapphire Reserve card, you get 3x back on travel and dining. This is really going to be subjective on the type of spending that a person will naturally do, but based off of what I'm hearing from the general demographic of people, I feel like the American Express earning categories are just way better than Chase's. Now, the reason why I say the American Express trifecta is much more superior in this case is because you're getting 4x on dining compared to the 3x you would get with the Chase Sapphire Reserve. You get 5x back on travel compared to the 3x you get with the Chase Sapphire Reserve. This is a no-brainer, and online there have actually been different studies and calculations showing that the American Express trifecta gives you guys more points rather than the Chase trifecta if we're just talking about the earning categories. What really ends up stumping people is how you use those points, not really how you earn those points. So we're gonna get into those categories moving on. But the next category on our list is gonna be transfer partners. The reason why this is a category is because it is pretty important once you get into the intermediate and advanced levels of getting into the credit world. Yes, it's always easy to use your points on the portal that the American Express or Chase app gives you, but you're really gonna find the most amount of value when you can actually transfer your points out to different airlines and partners. Now, when we're talking about transfer partners and who actually wins in this category, I'm actually going to give this one a tie, and here's why. Let's talk about two different people hypothetically. We have Billy Joe and we have Brian Jung right here. Billy Joe right here may just want to stay in the US. He may not want to go anywhere. He may just want to be able to fly domestically, but maybe Brian Jung right here wants to go to many different countries. He wants to go to Japan, Korea, Ireland, New Zealand, and he has a whole list of bucket list countries that he wants to visit. Now, because these two individuals have two different goals, if Billy Joe's priorities are on the domestic side, then obviously Chase is going to get that point. But if we're talking about someone like Brian Jung who's trying to go into different international countries, then obviously the point is going to go with him to American Express because American Express has a ton more transfer partners and they have a lot more promotions where you can actually get a discount on transferring your points out to different international airlines. The reason why I tie this is because Chase really belongs in that domestic category and American Express is international. I don't know exactly what you guys prefer or who's watching my video prefers, but in this category, it really isn't fair if I gave a point to one specific category just because not everyone has the same spending habits or travel passions. So the next category that we have are welcome bonuses, and guys, listen up because this one is pretty important. Welcome bonuses really give the consumers an opportunity to accumulate a lot of points without having to spend that much money or waiting a long period of time. When we're talking about the American Express side of welcome bonuses, we can start with the Platinum card that has a public offer of 60,000 points after you spend $5,000. The Gold card has a public offer of 35,000 points at the moment if you spend $4,000. The BBP has no public offer, but you could find a way to get the 20K points. I'm not going to put this in here though, just because people aren't generally going to be able to find it. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. So if we total that up, you can get a total of 95,000 points after you spend $9,000 as the welcome bonus for American Express. Now on the other side of the table, we have Chase. With Chase, you can get 50,000 ultimate reward points after you spend $4,000. Now, if we're talking about the Chase Freedom and the Freedom Unlimited card, you could get the $200 cash back for both cards. If we do put that into the ultimate rewards calculator, it's actually going to be 20,000 points after you spend $500. And if we multiply that by 2 because you have the Freedom and the Freedom Unlimited, if we add up the 50,000 points with the 40,000 points with the 4K spend and the 1K spend, you will find yourself getting a total of 90,000 points after you spend $5,000. In this instance, it's a no-brainer. The American Express Trifecta gives you 95,000 MR points if you spend $9,000. Chase gives you basically the same amount, except you don't have to pay $9,000. You pay only $5,000, and that $4,000 really adds up because you can use that for other welcome bonuses, or you just don't have to spend money that you weren't going to anyways. Now, for anyone who's still doubting that Chase has better welcome bonuses, if we look at a card like the Chase Inc. Business Preferred, that card offers you 80,000 bonus points if you spend $5,000. So if I actually use the Chase Inc. Business Preferred as an alternative to one of the Freedom cards, you guys will see you're still in the green by a lot. In this instance, welcome bonuses are actually going to go to the Chase category. So Chase actually gets another point for that. So for category number 6, we have ease of use, and this is actually going to go to Chase. And the reason why I'm giving this to Chase is because Chase is generally a lot easier to redeem your points. It's a lot easier in the beginning. It's pretty flexible. Once you have that Ultimate Rewards portal, and once you get that 50% boost with the CSR, you really don't have to try too hard to be able to find yourself getting a lot of positive value. With the American Express, I feel like you have to try just a little bit more, and that's why the ease of use category is going to go to Chase. I have heard multiple stories where people who actually book on American Express's travel portal usually end up paying a bit more money than they would compared to the Chase Ultimate Reward portal, where most often I find myself getting some of the most competitive rates on the market, especially with that 50% boost. Number 6, this is actually going to go to Chase. Okay, so for category number 7, we're going to talk about point worth. Now, points are going to be worth differently depending on what a person values a lot. I believe if a person really wants to fly first class flights and business class flights and they want to go international all the time, American Express, hands down, right here, this is the way you go. They would get a point for this. But when we're talking about regular domestic travel and just what you can really do with your points, I do believe Chase takes the egg on this category. So this is very similar to the transfer partners category that we had earlier where we tied. I'm not really comfortable with giving either one of these trifectas a point in this category in terms of how much the points are worth. If you guys were to really pull out my nails on this, I would actually give it to the Chase category just because these points can be worth a lot more once you find the right partners, and you won't have to force yourself to get a business class seat, because at the end of the day, if you still get a business class or a first class seat, you're still paying way more points than you would have. If you're a frugal guy, if you guys don't mind economy seats, then Chase's points are still going to be pretty valuable to you. So Chase actually gets another point in this category. And for number 8, we're going to talk about story branding and we're going to talk about prestige. I do believe story branding, I do believe a company's background is very important to the success that they may have in the future. Clearly, without a doubt, American Express wins this one. They are so good at branding themselves. They work with some of the best celebrities in the game, and people do recognize American Express as a more luxurious card. The last time I saw Chase on the news, they were getting busted for a whole bunch of cocaine that they had on one of their ships. So clearly, I do believe that American Express takes the point on this. There's no competition in this category. American Express has better story branding, and I actually used to watch the interviews of the last CEO that American Express had, and I really enjoyed watching this guy. He was a huge inspiration to me. He did a ton of interviews, and you guys could actually find some of those videos online. So I do believe American Express has a much better story, and I personally like them more as a brand compared to Chase. Number 9, customer support. This is a huge thing, especially when we're dealing with an institution that is handling our finances. American Express wins in this category. It doesn't have to be too long. American Express just wins. So that point goes to American Express. And for the last category, category number 10, we're actually going to talk about more luxury tier items or just feeling like a baller, because who doesn't? Who doesn't want to feel like a baller sometimes? I think a lot of people have different definitions of feeling like a baller, but I feel like American Express does a really good job in this category by optimizing a couple things. American Express really goes out their way as a company to do things that usually financial institutions aren't going to be doing. American Express has a history of sending platinum card holders gifts, even black card users extra gifts. If I ever get anything from Chase, I'm definitely not going to be expecting a gift. It's probably going to be a bill, or it's going to be something about my credit, or they're probably going to mess something up. American Express does a great job in terms of offering these luxury experiences. They have luxury experience, luxury sporting tickets, luxury dining events, and in addition to that, you have the concierge service. You have things like the American Express house, which they built up in New York City during the holiday seasons. And then you have American Express events every now and then. And you have access to the Centurion Lounge and different American Express business lounges that I have seen in the past as well. With all those things being said, I do feel like American Express takes the cake. Now, Chase isn't all bad, but it really just doesn't compare to how you can feel within American Express's loyalty program. Don't just take my word on it. I actually made a video in the past using the American Express Platinum Concierge service. Such a nice service. So American Express takes the cake in this category. They actually get a point in this one too. So tallying up the points, it looks like Chase actually has 5 points while American Express has 6. So this is my video on the American Express versus Chase trifecta, but this doesn't mean that American Express is always going to be better with their trifectas compared to Chase's counterparts. This is going to be dependent on what you value the most. What you guys need to do is really compare both trifectas and to see what works best for you. As you can see, both the Chase and American Express trifectas still do a good job. This is really going down to the bare bones, going nitty gritty and just figuring out exactly what comes out just a little bit more on top in terms of the value. Before you make a final decision on which trifecta you would like to commit with, I really want you guys to consider how much you're going to spend and what categories you spend if you value airport lounge access, luxury, customer support, and things to that nature. I really hope this video did shed some light though on which is better for you, but at the end of the day, the main goal for you guys to take away is you want to just get as much maximum value as you can. This is not a race. This is not a flex battle. This is just what works best for you. Now, if it came down to it, here's what I would personally do. I would actually get the Chase trifecta first because of the 524 rule. I do believe people often assume that you have to stick with one ecosystem. You have to stick with either Chase or American Express. You can't switch off. You can't combine it or something's going to happen. I don't believe that's the case. I do believe you can mix and match and you can really diversify the points that you have. I know that there are people out here who may disagree with me, but for me personally, I like using different parts of both trifectas and using some of the categories that are the best in terms of that card. It's clear American Express does better in some categories compared to Chase, but it always is going to be dependent on what type of person I am going to be for that year. I know for the year 2020, maybe there's a completely different version of me where I decide to travel a lot internationally compared to last year where it was all domestic. If I know that there is going to be a drastic change like that, I really don't believe in the idea that you have to commit to one trifecta or one ecosystem. My principle is use the cards that work best for that moment. And if you guys have different spending habits, then adjust to what categories or what cards you prefer to use for that year. Go with Chase. Try to accumulate your 200 to 300,000 UR points and just save that up. Don't spend it because 200 to 300K UR points can be worth a lot, especially on any type of rainy day where you need to travel. Once you have a good amount of points set aside with Chase, I would then go with the American Express trifecta for a little while and at least get 100,000 points within American Express. At that point, you decide for yourself whether or not you like Chase or American Express more. Use American Express's portal, use Chase's portal, use their customer support, use their lounge access, see what you prefer the most, because at the end of the day, this is about you guys finding the most amount of value and finding out exactly what you prefer as a consumer. What do you guys think about this American Express versus Chase trifecta debate? Do you guys agree with my stance or do you guys disagree? If you guys disagree, completely okay. Let me know down below in the comments. And if you guys are interested at all in any of the cards that I have mentioned on this channel, I have affiliate links down below. And if you guys are planning on applying for any one of these cards, if you guys use those affiliate links down below, it really does support the channel without you guys having to lose anything. Now, one last thing, if you guys have not yet smashed that like button, make sure you guys do. And if you guys have not yet subscribed, make sure you guys consider subscribing. Not gonna force you, but if you do, it'll be nice. Trying to hit 100K subs out here. But that is my video, and it is 2 a.m. right now, and I actually have a flight to catch in about 6 hours. I'm going to Cancun for a little bit, and I wanted to get this video out, you guys. I love every single one of you guys, and I want to say thank you so much for your support. Thank you guys so much for the DMs. Thank you guys so much for the supporting comments and just sticking with me on this journey. I know I have some OGs out here who have been with me since like 1,000 or 3,000 subscribers, and we're at 33, 34,000 subscribers now. So We're going to hit 100K this year. We are going to hit 100K subscribers this year. If you guys are watching me now, you are at the beginning of the journey where we're like 30%. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to get some sleep, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.